Hi, this is Aaron Russell, head coach of your Richmond Spiders women's basketball team, and you are watching the Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network. Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talk, Season 3, Episode 16, with your hosts, Lamonte and Derrick Alston. Today's special guest, Marcus Carter, former Christopher Newport basketball star.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Commonwealth Sports Talk. I am your host, Lamonte. With me today, I do have the man, the myth, the legend, Marcus Carter. What's going on, man?
There Nothing much, baby. Nothing much. How about you?
Captains.
Yes, sir. Captains, baby.
My guy, man. Good to have you, man. I appreciate your time. Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talking, man. And for those who don't know, this podcast is designed to teach and inform the listener or viewer of the positive advancement of Virginia athletes, born or raised, and definitely born and raised. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Marcus, man, like I said, captain of captains, man, you come a long way. You got a great journey. Bruton High standout, seeing you stand out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to where it began, man. Let's go back to Bruton. Let's go back to when you first felt or recognized that you could go further and play this game a step further. When did that hit you?
I'll probably say it hit me around 7th grade when it actually hit me.
Wow.
It wasn't even in high school. It was in 7th grade when going to open gyms at Bruton and playing the older guys. And Coach Joyner used to make sure that I was playing with like the juniors and seniors. And then it was pretty much he was making sure I was getting picked up first, second pick going down the line. And then in general, after playing for a while, guys just started picking me first. So that's when I started to know that I'm better than what I think I am. Because, I kind of hold myself down a little bit, try to keep myself humble. But, as a young cat, just experiencing that, like you got high school seniors, guys that like graduated already from Bruton, coming back to open gym, and you're kind of getting picked up in the first, second, third pick, versus guys that are in high school right now playing on varsity, or playing on JV, and I'm just a 7th grader. So that like that point is when I started to know, and then 8th grade kind of certified it. From 8th grade going on to my freshman year, when Coach Joyner brought me on in the summer, and then I started playing in the the summer leagues and team camps in the summer. So that's when I kind of knew, I said, all right, I can kind of play at the next level. It wasn't just like, I love basketball and I'm just playing basketball. It was like, I can actually like use this to my advantage.
Yeah, man, for sure. And that's nothing but love, man. When the older people see you, they can see it in you before you see it in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they do everything they can to help you along the way, man. So that's shout out to all those people who did that.
Oh yeah, my rest in heaven, Lorenzo Talaferro. He was actually the first person to actually pick me up kind of earlier. He used to do that when we was playing in at Bruton. The first time he did it was playing back on Magruder courts.
Okay.
So I remember he was always the first person that always grabbed me. He was the first person to actually pick me up and then got my attention. So rest in heaven to that guy. And he helped me out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Mr. Talaferro, we definitely featured him on our page, for sure. So like you said, RIP, man, and that's good to know, man. It's good to know, like, where you got to start. Tell us a little bit about leading Bruton to, the 2A championship, man. What was that like? And talk a little bit about that journey for us and what it did for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a crazy journey, Yeah, I mean, it started junior year when we lost like close to the buzzer, close to the buzzer. I mean, you couldn't get as close to the buzzer, like a buzzer beater, the way we lost, And
Yeah.
I think it was just the fact of being right there, After that first half, we was pretty much feeling ourselves maybe feeling ourselves a little bit too much. And we was thinking so much about the championship game. We was like, man, we got round 2 against Brunswick, man. The Stiff brothers. I mean, it's round 2, like we ready to go. And we never focus on it. We never focus on finishing the game. And the other team, they just kept inching every second. They just kept inching. And it wasn't like they had a big run. It's just like, we'll score and they'll come down and score a couple times to get a stop. Like it was, they did what they needed to do to creep back in. And when they creeped back in and took over, it was a little too late for us because it was under 10 seconds left in the game when they got their last bucket.
Right.
So, it started right there, going through the summer on that. And just knowing that's in the back of your head, how close it was to get to the championship game. And then seeing like the seniors above you, like those are your boys growing up, you kind of been with them always since elementary school. It's like, you see how they felt. It's like, man, I can't have this feeling to myself. So, obviously in the summertime, Joe was out there. We was out there killing it in the summer, got us running miles out there on the track and like it was too hot out there to be running out there on the track.
Real though.
But we knew what we had to do to get where we want to be, running those hills at Bruton, running that track in the summer and then try to go in and work on our game. We all knew what we had to do. And, we all had that stigma that like there's Bruton, we're a small school and nobody really cares about us. Yeah, we're a good basketball school, but we're not gonna make it to the end. I mean, there's no Brian Randall, there's no Brandon Randall walking around.
Right,
so,
right.
Like we didn't have that. We hear that a lot. I mean, we're looking at the picture every day when we walk in the gym. So, me and Lonnie Swain and Capri Doucette, Larry Lagasse, the line goes on and on and on. We just kind of had that thing that like, man, we got to go out there and get it this year. And Capri was playing football, so we didn't even have him that much in the summer.
Yeah.
So it was a crazy summer and crazy fall to get where we had to do. But what put us over the top was winning the fall league down at Boo Williams. That's what I think that's what set the standard for us because pretty much we were small. We only had like 8 people playing, 9 people, and we're going against John Marshall and we're going against obviously Grafton was our rival, who else they got? They got Phoebus and Hampton and you got the Beach, you got she was like not Kempsville, I can't remember. Nasman River. Nasman River was number 1. They had all the guys, and in fact we went in the Boo Williams each week and we did our thing and we come out winning it. That for us we said we can really play with anybody. It doesn't matter how many players we got or if we're shorter than everybody, we can play with anybody. So
right. And it's nothing like that, the journey. People know about that championship, but that journey, that road to get there, man, that's the grind right there.
But
that's the
everybody wants rings, everybody wants the banner, but a lot of people don't want to put the work in beforehand. So I mean, if any young kids that are watching this, you got to put the work in. I mean,
gotta put the work in.
I mean, all the guys that get to the spots they want to, even if it stops at college or whatever, they all had to put in work in at some point to get to where they needed to be. So
absolutely. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We do got my man Derrick Alston on, man. We couldn't do this one without you, man. I'm glad you're here.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Now you already know. So we just chatting it up, with Marcus, man, and we just talking about, that road that they took, to the 2A championship, man, for Bruton. And he talked about the year they lost, the game before, and how that kind of started the road, back to where they knew that they could be and where they wanted to be. He talked about the hot summer running on the track, man. I can't wait to hear Joe's stories because I know they're gonna be crazy. But
it's too many.
Right, right. But yeah, man. So anything you want to ask him about the Bruton journey, in the high school before we dive into CU?
Yeah, Bruton is not really known to be a popular school in the Williamsburg area. So, like, how does that transition to y'all playing well? Because you got War Hill, Lafayette, and you got schools like York, Tab, all those Bay District area. But it's like Bruton don't get no love for none of their sports. So, I mean, how did that help y'all overcome that hump in y'all journey to states?
We always used it. I mean, that goes to any sport we always had at Bruton. We go by just that we know we're small. We're not going to have a enough amount of people to play the sport, or we're going to have just the right amount that we take that little chip. Because, like, obviously you go against Lafayette or York or whatever, they got a full bench. We're coming in, we got like 10 people. 10 to 12 people, I mean, luckily for my senior year, we had like 15, we were still in that time frame where a lot of people were playing, but it's the fact of just being a small school. And, all these other schools, Lafayette and them, on there like 3, 4, 5A and stuff like that nowadays. And we're coming in this 2A, barely cutting to get in 2A. So, just that small, just having that small school background, just has a little chip on your shoulder because obviously people think you come from a smaller school is going to be a little easier. But I think Bruton held our own when it came to sports because we always had a lot of respect, especially when it came to basketball. I mean, before Joe, we had Joyner and all those guys that came before us, they held it down and especially in basketball. So we always had that chip just because we're a smaller school, but, we kind of just said, man, Lafayette, they are rivals. We try to smack them all the time. War Hill, they are rivals. We try to smack them. Jamestown, York. I mean, we're rivals with everybody. So it seems like, because we Williamsburg, but with York County, nobody knows what we are. But that's small background. That's just a small school background. That's to put a little chip on our shoulder. But we know that when it came down to sports, it was like, man, you got to do the same thing we got to do, and we're just gonna beat you. We're gonna outgrind you on it.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's small school. Yeah, it's no joke, man. It's no joke, especially when you going against those schools that like you said, they're more abundant to begin with. It's always tough. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get to the CNU, man. Let's get to this because some of these numbers are just outrageous. All right. Yeah. And like you talked about being humble, so we knew that you were gonna come in and do that, but we gonna make sure that we set the tone. All right. We got top 10 in CNU in points, rebounds, 3-pointers, and blocked shots. Marcus, how tall are you?
6'3".
6'3". Top 10 in blocked shots to go along with the all-around game.
I'm like this close. I'm like this close outside of steals. I think I'm like 11.
Yeah, you right.
I'm like 11 or 12 in steals or something. I was mad, man. I was like, damn, I could have been in that drip too.
Right, right. And see, there it is. I go ahead and point it out, and then what he remembers is that he's almost there in steals. That is that type of mentality, right? Is that type of stuff that never makes you satisfied, that keeps you going, right?
Yeah, it's the little things, obviously I got to see you. I was already grown with that, but defense was the main thing, all the points just come, the points just came, but rebounds, blocks, steals, all those things matter more than points at the end of the day, because especially when you get to college, you're always gonna have a bucket getter when you get to college. You don't gotta be the bucket getter. It's what you can do besides outside of getting a bucket. So, the block, like blocks and taking charges and all that thing. That was trying to be my specialty on everything. That was my tone setter.
All right. So your freshman year, like I said, you won Rookie of the Year. How did you feel being in categories with Davon Barton and Lamont Struthers?
Obviously it was a great feeling, especially, Lamont, NBA player, And then Davon, you know, he's just, I mean, all around great guy. I mean, all around great guy, great player. I mean, that guy did it all. So, you know, to be in that position, to get that, I mean, I was happy. I mean, I was thrilled. But like, I just knew I could have did better that season. But I didn't understand the game as well as I knew. But I just kind of was just out there just balling and just trying to play and just kind of work the system in the best favor for me. But I mean, it was great. But to me, my freshman year, what I remember was getting the foul call in the championship game that cost us the tournament. So it was all great getting that, and like, you know, it's a great line to be in with all the greats that came through CNU that have gotten that award. But I mean, for me, it's like my last thing I remember from my freshman year was trying to take that charge, and they called a block, and then we lost the championship game. We sitting on butts watching Salisbury go to the NCAA tournament. So
yeah, and that's crazy for you to talk about how you still had to figure it out, you know, after you know, having a successful freshman season, you know, still was the leading scorer, you know, and the growth, man, we watched it. We watched you know, even what coach, is it Krikorian?
Yeah, Krikorian.
Yep. Yeah, what Coach K, right, what he said about you, know, he said that you literally made other people around you better, right? Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't just about you. You figured out what you had to do to get everybody involved and get the best out of all your teammates, right? And that's something that you can't say enough, you know, about a player. That's the part that you can't replace, right? And then the record speaks for itself, man. I think you were like 110 or something like that to 16 losses. Like, it's crazy. Like, your record for when you played, the games you played in CNU is like, it's amazing, man. It really is. It's a testament to your game, man, and the difference that you made. So you got what, 3 CAC titles?
Yep.
Yeah, you got, man, it goes on and on, man. Let's talk about even in the fit for CNU, right? And why you chose them. Mm-hmm. Right? Because of course there was a plethora of places you could have gone, you know, and I remember, you know, reading how you were saying that CNU felt like home. It was important that it felt like home. It wasn't just basketball. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I first committed to Maryland Eastern Shore. So right. that was where I originally committed to. And when I was there, like in the summer or something, you know, like I said, I kind of CNU felt like home. But something, every time I went to sleep, something just kept telling me something with CNU, something with CNU, something with CNU. And I just kept, and, you know, I just kind of kept trying to put that out in my head. You know, I'm at a D1 school, like I'm living life, like I mean, on scholarship and everything. And then I think I just like, something just clicked to me. And it was like, this is not the place for you. And I don't know if it was like God speaking to me or something, but it's like, this ain't the place for you. The place I'm keep putting in your brain, keep speaking to you, is the place you need to be at. And so like at some part through the summer, you know, I had to talk with coach, and, you know, kind of just went our ways. And then I went to CNU, when something went, like, you know, when I knew I was doing that transition right before school started, it felt like a weight was just lifted off my shoulder. And like, it just felt like I felt great. Like everything felt great. Like, I mean, I felt like I didn't even have a bad day. Like I went to bed with a smile on my face. So, you know, making that transition and giving up a scholarship to go pay for school, but knowing that I'm in a place where I feel like it's home, where like I know I'm going to put myself in the best position for myself, you know, that was the greatest thing like I can do. I mean, I went from probably having to pay no funds coming out of school to like, you know, I'm in debt, but I can't, but it's the experience and what I went through and everything at CNU, which makes my debt like, it's nothing to me. It's like, I'm cool with that. And the fact that I made that transition was probably the best decision I ever made in my 25 years of this life.
That was your heart talking to you, man. Like, for sure. For you to be reminded that often, like you said, you don't know what it was, like whether it was God or the universe calling, but you knew where you needed to be.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you made that decision. D, what you got for him?
I mean, I just want to know what led you to choose CNU. Like, what other schools did you have offers from? And do you feel like being at a school like Bruton limited you from receiving higher offers from different schools?
Yeah, being at Bruton definitely did limit me. I had a chance to probably go play at Walsingham, which in a scholarship wise probably would have been beneficial for me. You know, I love Coach Barnes, and Coach Barnes treated me like I was his player throughout the summer, no matter how many times I went there. And he recruited me as hard as he can to get me there. But for some reason, I stayed at Bruton. My heart told me to stay at Bruton, so I stayed there. But I think it definitely limited me because of the talent we were probably playing. We're not on a higher plateau as some of the other schools around us, especially down in the Peninsula District and in the beach area. We're kind of upper 757 Williamsburg, York County. That definitely had an effect on me. But I mean, I just had like Division III wise. I mean, I had CNU, Randolph-Macon, Virginia Wesleyan. Now those are the three faithful ones that came to Bruton games daily. And then I only had one offer, and that was from Maryland Eastern Shore. I mean, I think I had Virginia State that kind of looked at me here and there, but like no legit offers that was like on the table, like Division I or Division II wise. It was mostly just Division III.
Man, that's tough because you had serious game.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and they always, I mean, a lot of people that, especially in this area, they're going to overlook a lot of good guards, right? Because it has to be flashy. You know, they're used to the flashy, the jump out, you know, for you. And sometimes you really just don't know until you get them all on the same platform and you see those guys you thought were studs get dogged by guys like Marcus Carter, right? Like that's what happens. Then you're like, oh, this is the guy we want, right? And a lot of times if you don't get that opportunity, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you did have a good relationship with Roland Ross, you know, over there. So, you know, I know that there was some things that kind of still pulled you over there to seeing you at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Coach Ross, man, he's known me since I could probably even touch a basketball and learn how to dribble. That's how long he knew me. And when I remember going through my college process through high and stuff. I mean, it would be the whole Virginia Wesleyan staff, like the main two from Randolph-Macon, and it'd be just Coach Ross. It'd be just Coach Ross. I mean, I already talked to Coach K and other coaches and JD and stuff, and they're just like, man, he's probably gonna go Division I. You know, they talked their piece of me, but Coach Ross just stuck there the whole time. He said, I'm going to this guy's game. And he just kept going, and we would just sit back and talk. I mean, he would even talk to me about basketball. He would be just talking to me and my family. He wouldn't even, at this point, wasn't even trying to like recruit me at some points. But he did at some points where I'll be different places or whatever. He said, so you ever thought about seeing you? You ever thought, you always try to throw something in there. But now, Coach Ross he is the man, the myth, the legend. I mean, all those banners you go into CNU, you see him up there. He has a ring for every single one of them.
Wow.
I mean, he's been there since basketball first started at CNU. Like he's been there that long. He went from playing to coaching, and still hasn't left CNU. So you're talking about a man that's just, knows the game of basketball, well-rounded, loves talking to people, loves going back and helping the community as much as possible because he's never forgot where he came from. And I promise you that he's never forgot where he came from. Even when we had our overseas trip, he still try to keep it like he's at home. But nah, he's somebody that also helped the decision. But he's also somebody he's gonna keep it 110 with you no matter what. And Coach Ross is just that dude. He will forever be that dude. If anybody wants to know about CNU history, you go to Coach Ross. That's all it is. You want to know anything about CNU, you go to Coach Ross because he's been there. I mean, you might think he's the president of CNU for how long he's been there.
That's what's up, man. See, that's that realness that you spoke of, and why you felt like being at home. You know what I mean? So somebody to talk to you, in the recruiting process and really trying to get to know you and like trying to genuinely see how you feel on stuff and where's your head at and trying to help you here and there, man. That's beyond basketball at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mentorship is definitely important with building player relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the amount of stuff Coach teach you off the court, like not dealing with basketball has been like, I mean, it's been amazing. I mean, majority of the stuff he's been teaching us is everything's been focused on community and helping others. That's his best tribute is he loves to help people and he's gonna go all the way to the end to help somebody. So like, yeah, basketball was there, but Coach Ross mentor, like being a mentor as a man, as a human being, and Coach Ross is a big follower of Christ. I mean, he teaches you more about life than basketball. He knows basketball is always going to be there, but down the long run, the game ends at some point, and you got to be a man. You got to be a good civilian. You have to be a great husband and father. So those are the stuff that he teaches us a lot when I've been at CNU more than just the basketball stuff.
Yeah, that's testament of a real leader there. Let's talk about that 17-18 year, man, about how right. I know, but we gotta get this story in. So
what's that Final Four? Or we lost Sweet 16. I can't remember that.
Well, you had the ankle injury, right?
Oh yeah.
So you came back from the ankle injury, and then I think it was 5 minutes into the game. I think it was. You re-injure the injury, right? Like what was going through your mind when it happened, and then talk about the process of bouncing back from it.
Yeah, so I had surgery on my left ankle that July. So kind of went through all the preseason and everything. Excuse me. Rehabbing. The first legit day I was allowed to play basketball was the first legit day we were able to practice. So I kind of got worked in by Coach K and the training staff, and obviously we had our scrimmage games and stuff. So I felt really good doing that. So playing Randolph-Macon, playing our rival. They got their student section. I mean, we always played Randolph-Macon first game of the year, and just went up for a rebound. And they're the biggest guy on their team. I mean, it couldn't have been the worst thing ever. The biggest guy on their team. We're going for a rebound, and I'm just kind of over the top of him. And when we both come down, he comes down just straight on my ankle, and just ligaments. I mean, taped up everything. Just tape was like all loosened up after that. Ligaments just gone. And in that moment, I mean, obviously I can't repeat every single word that was coming out my mouth in my head. I can't repeat all of those things. But my main goal was get up, like just get up. If I can just get up and walk, like I knew I was done. Like I 100% knew I was done. Is that if I could get up and just show I got strength to walk out of here, my teammates will be fine. Because I mean, there's a lot of injuries I always have, but like the worst injuries is when I know I can't play. Like I physically know I can't play. I mean, I played on a lot of injuries, but I just wanted to make sure I can get up and I can walk out those double doors at Randolph-Macon and just show like I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be straight. The team can see that. Like, all right, he's good. He's good. He might be hurting a lot. They know he's hurting a lot, but my main goal was just try to get up and just walk out those doors. As soon as I went through those double doors, I dropped. I was like, man, I can't walk on this thing. I mean, it was gone. I mean, my ankle was completely gone. So, I mean, I felt like all the rehab and everything was just a waste of time. The first legit game. I mean, so yeah, it was something else in that like 10-minute stretch. Start the season off.
Man.
Yeah. So, but oh shit. Let me go back to like the coming back part. So yeah, obviously I sat for a couple games and went to see the doctor or the surgeon that did my surgery the first time. He was kind of telling me ligaments gone and it's on you. It's on you if you want to like keep playing, or like we can probably gut you out through the season. So, I just told him I have to think about it because one, it was my senior class I came in with. So I got Aaron McFarland and Spencer Marine. And I was like, that was the hardest part, was trying to make a decision based off them. Because I knew I came in with them and I wanted to leave with them.
Absolutely.
But finally trying to make a decision for myself what's going to make me have the greatest senior season I can. So, you know, after a while, kind of working my way back into things, me and Coach K talked, and surgeon talked. I told him I was going to get surgery again. I'm just going to like redshirt. But I told him it's one thing. I said I'm not leaving that. That's the last game I'm playing with my two guys. So he said you can get a cortisone shot, and then it's going to be on how much you can take. We had a set surgery date. We had a set surgery date, and then we got to have a certain amount of games I can play under, so I can still be redshirted. So we figured out a time frame for me to come back in. You know, I came off the bench each game, and I didn't even care about that. I mean, I told Coach, put me in when you want to put me in. You know, obviously the other guys got to get their time in so they can, you know, they get the flow of the game and everything, because I'm not going to be in it, but I played as many games as possible under the limit I need to play with those guys one last time. So, you know, that was my main thing. At the end of that, I was just trying to be the best I can to go play for Aaron McFarland and Spencer Marine on their senior year.
Yeah, I know you wanted to go out with those guys, man. And then, you know, like you said, I think it was like you played 30% or less of the games, which made you eligible for the year to come back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But, you know, it worked out, man, because even though, you know, you didn't get to go out with those guys, you came back and statistically had your best year, you know, when you came back. So, I mean, that's just, you know, a blessing in disguise. You know, I know at that point, like you described, it was, you know, it was gut-wrenching and heartbreaking, you know, for that to happen. But for you to come back.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my fault.
No,
yeah,
you're good.
Not like we played Wesley. Wesley was the last game. And walking off that court, man, I was in tears. Like I couldn't even walk in the locker room. I was literally just sitting around, like we have like a 2-door set to get into the locker room. I was like sitting right there in the middle, just crying, because I was just like, I said, I can't. I was like, one, it feels like I'm letting down the team, but like to my two boys, I'm just like, bro, like that was it. Like that was it. That was the last time I played on the court with you guys, and I just couldn't hold it in. I was just like, man, this sucks. It sucks. And I was just letting it out, just crying, and I was just like, kind of walked in, because I had surgery like 2 days later.
Right.
Yeah, like surgery like 2 days later. So I was just like, that was it. They won't go see me for a while after that. So yeah.
Man, for you to gut it out though, from the time of the injury, you know, the re-injury until surgery, you know, for your guys, man, that's the type of teammate people would, you know, people want to play with, right? That's the type of teammate that people would, you know, they go to war with, as they say, because, you know that they're gonna leave it all out there for you. And you know, with all this moving around and, you know, people wanting to play with this person and play with that person, man,
transfer portal is insane.
Crazy, right?
It's insane. I don't know what. It's insane. I don't even want to talk about that. That thing.
Man, these announcements on IG, crazy.
Every day is a new person. Every day. But
yeah, man. But yeah, for you to have the, you know, to have that camaraderie with those guys, man, that's something special. Like you said, it's something that, you know, they'll never be able to take away from you guys. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's mad respect for what you did with those players, your guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Man, like I said, you know, you came back, you had your best year statistically, you know, even after you played with, you know, the guys you came in with, you know, it still says a lot for what you did for the program, you know, and I think that's why Coach K was so adamant on, you know, really talking about how you were irreplaceable as far as what you brought to the program and, you know, the years that you put in and all of the, you know, all of the, you know, controversy you've been through, you know, all the ups and downs, man. It was really, you know, good to see you play, you know, through that and to see you overcome those obstacles that were in your way, man, for sure.
Yeah, the senior year was, you know, I was in there with Logan Miller, who we came in together and he had an injury as well, you know, and then Tyler Femi, who, I mean, we're all so close now. Especially that season made us closer than what we can probably even think. I mean, me and Logan are already close, but bringing Tyler into that was like it was a bond that's unbroken. But no, that senior year was just more of you know, it's the last year. It's just, I mean, it's a senior mindset. It's the last year. Going back to sophomore year, you got a taste of the Final Four.
The team first ever Final Four at that, right? Like
first senior team for men's basketball go to the Final Four, and you know, me, Logan, and Tyler, we all had that taste of we've been there. So it's like if we can't taste that again, then I mean, it's a failed season for us, you know. So, you know, that senior year was just more, you know, it was just leading, you know. It was just being a leader, showing the young guys that haven't been there yet, you know, giving them that taste, because when they become a senior, you know, they already know what it's like to get there. So you know their mindset is going to be, I got to get back to the Final Four somehow, some way, and try to take the next step to go to the championship game. So you know, our goal is just, you know, go out there and just try to go as far as possible. But you know, obviously we got as far as we can, but it didn't work out. But the journey there was, I mean, it was one of the greatest years I ever had in my life outside of basketball, just being with the team.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, man. We're not gonna hold you up too much. D, you got anything else for him, man?
Nah.
Ask away. I'm good. Ask away. I'm
He's
good.
with it, man. We got him in now.
Yeah, I'm in it.
Nah. Besides the Final Four experience, what would you say was your best college experience? It can even be outside of basketball.
I don't give you my best story. I don't give you the best seeing you basketball story.
Ain't nothing like a good story.
So the first Final Four run, right? We have so I popped up on my screen, sorry. First Final Four run comes around Christmas time, and I don't know if you saw it on the roster. There's a guy named Ben Watkins. He's a tall, lanky, skinny black guy, right? See, he was on the basketball team in previous years, but he had too many concussions. You know, at a certain point, they cut you off. But coming around Christmas time, we had no idea. Him and Coach K were working because he wanted to play his senior year with the guys he came in with. So he was working with all these doctors, the trainers, everything he could possibly do to see if he can get another chance to play, and get reinstated because of the medical stuff. And I can't remember, we were sitting there upstairs in the president's room, and we're all just chilling. And he's just like a coach at this time. And he's like Coach Watkins. I mean, and we were all just sitting there, and we go through our teaching and everything, coming back from break. And Coach K just he starts talking, you know, getting one of those little president type talks, sound like a politician or something. And he just then we just kind of stop, and you know, coaches, he said, Ben, you got anything you want to tell the team or whatever? That's what he normally does at the end, you know, starts telling coaches, you got anything you want to say? Ben, you got anything you want to tell the team? And he kind of just broke it to us that he was like, yeah, I'm coming back to play and stuff like that. And we were just like, bro, what? What? I mean, Ben is the most athletic guy I've ever been around. The dude jumps out of the gym, and he's so passionate about it. I mean, he was the loudest guy in the gym all the time. You didn't have to act, he doesn't even need to warm up. He's just the loudest guy coming to the gym. And when he told us that he's coming back to play, that's the moment when that set us for the Final Four. Because it's we have a guy that was supposed to be done with college basketball, completely done, works his way underground to get his way back into playing because he wants to play his team, he wants to play with his guys. And the best Christmas gift we can possibly ever get. Because, I mean, when he told us that, I mean, we were just our whole mindset just flipped. It was just man, this guy worked his tail off to try to come back. like we're really not, we're really taking this for granted right now. Like we can't take this for granted anymore. Like this is a game where people legit try to fight every single day and play, which Ben was doing. And you know, that story just kind of just took us all the way to Salem. I mean, he had played big games, especially when we got to NCAA tournament time, played big games. And, you know, that story, I'll forever remember that story. I mean, I would talk about that story till like I'm almost dead, because that story was just something like you just don't think of, you know. It's like when somebody tells you you're medically done, like people be like, you know what, I gotta find a way to just get through it. And he was just being a assistant coach. Right. He said, that's not it. That's not trying to end my senior year. He fought his way back, and it's just like, bro, like what are we doing? We're doing something wrong. Right. We're not working hard enough, because this guy's working his tail off just trying to get back. So, you know, that was our story, and that was like our behind the scenes story to our first Final Four run was Ben Watkins. No matter what all the stats say, the records, or anything, whatever, Ben Watkins was the main guy.
That's a good story, man. That's like, I can't imagine what the energy was like in that room that day when he broke you guys that news like that.
We sitting there, we thought we was getting a joke. We was like,
what?
I mean, you crazy right now. Like you playing with us.
You lying, bro.
Ready to go.
Ben Watkins, man. Shout out to you, man. That's good stuff right there, man, for sure. Yeah, I don't think we can top that, D. I knew you had one in you, man, and that was it. You brought us home.
Yeah, that was the missing piece.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. But Marcus, man, we appreciate you coming on Commonwealth Sports Talk, man. You already know what it is. You family now. You engraved. So, you know, don't stray too far from us, man. And we'll definitely see what we can do, man. Have you back on, you know, whatever the case is.
Make it monthly. You know, we got to talk about some NBA stuff that's going on. I mean, it doesn't matter. We talk about look, we could talk about anything. I could bring the Stephen A to the show or something.
You already know.
I could bring the Stephen A.
You already know, man. You with us. You with us. You one of us, man. I appreciate you coming on Commonwealth Sports Talk. We appreciate your time, man. We got to get up, everybody. But we'll bring Joe in, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's a party.
There's a day tonight.
We appreciate your time, man.
No problem.
Thank you, brother.